Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to the English classes of 7th Standard, St. Thomas School, Puchara, Adilabad District, Telangana, India. Today we are continuing with the second unit, that is starting with C.V. Raman, the pride of India. Last day we just saw who are these important persons here in the front page of the second unit. On turning over to the next page, we have a short history of C.V. Raman and his contribution to the world and how he became the pride of India. So let us read this text and we'll understand this chapter better. And later we will have the question and answers. And I think that we have 9 or 10 questions there to answer. And when we answer the question and answers, and we will be understanding more better this part of the your second unit. So let us read.
On the busy Beaubasar street in Calcutta, there was an old building. It was the headquarters of the Indian Association for Cultivation of Science. In December, on a fine evening in 1927, there was much excitement in one of his laboratories. Chandrasekhar Venkataraman was showing a visitor some of his instruments when a young man, K.S. Krishnan, rushed in and announced, "Professor Compton has won the Nobel Prize."
So the paragraph is over. Did you understand anything? So something happened in a laboratory in Calcutta, and C.V. Raman is there in his laboratory, and he is with a visitor, and then came a young man whose name is K.S. Krishnan, and he said one thing. He came with a news: Professor Compton has won the Nobel Prize. So one of the professor, Compton, whose name is Compton, won the Nobel Prize. And we are going to see what exactly is the contribution of this Compton.
Raman was equally delighted. "Excellent news," he said, smiling at the visitor, and then he was lost in thought. "But look here, Krishnan," he said, turning to the young man, "if this Compton effect is true of X-rays, it must be true of light too."
So the second paragraph, we have Raman was equally delighted. He said it is an excellent news, smiling at the visitor, and he was lost in thought. "But look here, Krishnan," he said to that young man, Krishnan. He said, turning to the young man, "if this Compton effect is true of X-rays, it must be true of light too." So he is making his research on light, and whereas Compton had something invented regarding X-rays.
A few years later, A.S. Compton had shown that the nature of X-rays changes when passed through matter. The change was dependent on the kind of matter. This effect was called the Compton effect.
A few years later, earlier, A.H. Compton had shown that the nature of X-rays changes when passed through matter. The change has dependent on the kind of matter. This effect was called the Compton effect. So what is Compton effect? Let us read here together. Read together with me. What is Compton effect?
Compton scattering or Compton's effect, discovered by Arthur Holly Compton, is the scattering of a photon by a charged particle, usually an electron. If it results in a decrease in energy, increase in wavelength of the photon, which may be an X-ray or gamma ray photon, it is called the Compton effect. Part of the energy of the photon is transferred to the recoiling electron. Inverse Compton scattering occurs when a charged particle transfers part of its energy to a photon.
It's not important that you must by heart here in English, no, but you will be learning it in another science or physics. You will be able to learn about it in detail later, no. So Compton effect, and Professor Compton was awarded Nobel Prize for his achievement. When he heard, Ravin Raman heard that this great man got the Nobel Prize and he invented this great thing in physics, he was also with a hope that he will do something and he will be successful in his research.
Could light also change its nature when passed through a transparent medium? That was the question that Raman asked himself. For 5 years, he had been doing research in optics, the science of light. No sophisticated equipment was available to his laboratory, but Raman was confident that he could find the answer with some modifications in his equipment.
Could light also change its nature when passed through the transparent medium? That was the question that Raman asked himself. For 5 years, he had been doing research in optics, the science of light. So what is the thing there? Research in optics, that means research in his research of light. No sophisticated equipment was available. This Raman was making a research, but he had no equipments like other countries at that time had. Now India has got many equipments, research centers, and we are investing so much money for the research works. And students are given money to make research, and they are given scholarship, etc. But those time, it was that time, no, maybe that year 2000, no, 1928 and so on. That time India was not that much investing for research. Okay, then no sophisticated equipment. What is the meaning of the word sophisticated? Advanced and capable. No, we have the meaning here, the other side. Yeah, then. But Raman was confident that he could find the answer with some modifications in his equipment. Though there wasn't much sophisticated equipments for him, he was with confidence. He thought of making modifications of what he has or what he had. So he was always positive-minded person, as he already said in the other class.
4 months later, on March 16, 1928, Raman announced his discovery of new radiation, describing the behavior of a beam of light passing through a liquid chemical to an assembly of scientists at Bangalore, now called Bengaluru.
4 months later, on March 16, 1928, Raman announced his discovery of new radiation, describing the behavior of a beam of light passing through a liquid chemical to an assembly of scientists at Bangalore, now called Bengaluru. So that is his investigation, and that is what his result came, and he was explaining it to the scientist.
The world hailed the discovery of the Raman effect for scientific research in this country. It was a red letter day. His discovery caught the attention of the world. With equipment worth hardly rupees 200 and limited facilities, Raman was able to make a discovery which won him the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1930.
Then the world hailed the discovery as the Raman effect. So, like the Compton effect, the result of Raman, C.V. Raman, is called Raman effect.
Raman effect is change in the wavelength of light that occurs when a light beam is deflected by molecules. When a beam of light traverses a dust-free, transparent sample of a chemical compound, a small fraction of the light emerges in directions other than that of the incident incoming beam. Most of this scattered light is of unchanged wavelength. A small part, however, has wavelengths different from that of the incident light. Its presence is a result of the Raman effect.
For scientific research in this country, it was a red letter day. What's the meaning of the word red letter day? Red letter day means an important day. Important day, very important day for India. So you can also study this word now. Red letter day means an important day. His discovery caught the attention of the world. With equipment worth hardly rupees 200, and limited facilities, Raman was able to make a discovery which won him the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1930. And Raman was awarded Nobel Prize in 1930 for his great achievement in the world. You know what is a Nobel Prize? You know what is a Nobel Prize? Okay, let us hear what is a Nobel Prize.
The Nobel Prize Awards explained simply. Meet Swedish inventor Alfred Nobel. He's known for inventing dynamite, a breakthrough in chemistry. However, having mostly invented explosives, he worried about how people would remember him. So when he died, he left most of his wealth in a trust to fund what would later be known as the Nobel Prizes. These prizes are a set of annual international awards given for landmark achievements or discoveries made during the preceding year. They are widely regarded as the most prestigious honors in the fields of literature, medicine, physics, chemistry, peace, and economics. A separate committee awards each prize, but the processes are similar. About 3,000 people, usually academics, have the right to nominate candidates. From these, the Nobel committees choose around 300 potential recipients and prepare a report reflecting the advice of experts. The prize-awarding institutions then select the laureates by a majority vote. Each winner receives a gold medal, a diploma, and a sum of money. There is a maximum of 3 laureates per award, except for the Peace Prize, which can be awarded to institutions. You surely know some of the most famous laureates. Ernest Hemingway won for writing The Old Man and the Sea. What would humanity look like without Alexander Fleming, who discovered penicillin? Albert Einstein won for discovering the law of the photoelectric effect. Martin Luther King Jr. showed the Western world that struggle can be won without violence. The only person to win 2 Nobel Prizes in different fields is Marie Curie, one for her work on radiation and another discovering radium and polonium. And the Red Cross won a record 3 Nobel Prizes, mostly for their work protecting the rights of prisoners of war. These are the Nobel Prizes. Make a positive impact and get yours.
Raman was born on November 7, 1888 at Tiruchirappalli in Tamil Nadu. His father was a physics teacher in a college. He was a brilliant student right from the start. When Raman passed his matriculation, his parents were keen to send him abroad for higher studies. But on medical grounds, a British surgeon advised them against it, and Raman stayed in the country to do the MA course at Presidency College in Madras, now called Chennai.
Nice. Raman was born on November 7, 1888 at Tiruchirappalli in Tamil Nadu. So something about his history. He was born in Tamil Nadu in the year 1888. His father was a physics teacher in the college. So he has got this background. His father was a physics teacher in a college. He was a brilliant student right from the beginning. That means the beginning. When Raman passed his matriculation, his parents were keen to send him abroad for higher studies, but on medical grounds, a British surgeon advised them against it, and Raman stayed in the country to do the MA course at the Presidency College in Madras, now called Chennai. So though his parents were able to send him abroad for higher studies, since his health was very weak, the doctor told, no, don't send him abroad. So he had to continue study in India, and he studied in one of the famous colleges at that time, now also Presidency College in Madras, now Chennai. So that is the younger days and his studies, about his studies. We hear what we know about that period of his time. As a young person, how C.V. Raman spent his time and how he was formed. Then turning over to the next page, we have page number 25.
Science had already made an impression on him, and he began to write research papers for science journals. When he was only 19, he became a member of the Indian Association for Cultivation of Science. Meanwhile, respecting his parents' wishes, he took up an administrative job in the finance ministry in Calcutta. His interest in science, however, did not flag. He used to spend his hours after office in the lab of the association working throughout the night.
Science had already made an impression on him, and he began to write research papers for scientific journals. Though he was not formed in that level, too much or did not do doctorate in that level at that time, he started writing scientific journals, no scientific writings in the journals means magazines or weeklies or some of the publications are coming out of the research works. Okay, maybe it is published once in a year, twice in a year, like that. So they are called journals. Yeah. When he was only 19, he became a member of the Indian Association for Cultivation of Science. So he became a member of the Indian Association for Cultivation of Science when he was 19 years old. So his contribution was that much very much impressive. So he was given this chance to be a member of this association, Indian Association for Cultivation of Science. Meanwhile, respecting his parents' wishes, he took up an administrative job in the finance ministry in Calcutta. So his parents told, no, this will not help you to live. Take some job, do some job and have some money. So he took a job in the finance ministry in Calcutta. No, though he was not interested in that level so much. His interest in science, however, did not flag. He used to spend his hours after office in the lab of the association working throughout the night. See, he was working during the day, but at night he was in the laboratory with his scientific research. So you know what's the meaning of the word flag? FLAG, decline or become less. That means his interest in the science did not diminish, did not come down, but he had that interest. Why I said no that the other day, flag means verb. When it is verb, that means decline or become less. When it is noun, flag means national flag, our flag. No, even Telangana has got a flag, or our school has got a flag. No, see, then his interest not decline, but he was always interested in doing this research, and he continued to do research, working hard during the day and also doing his research at night in this laboratory.
In his youth, Raman was mainly interested in acoustics, the science of sound. He studied how stringed instruments like the violin and the sitar could produce harmonious music.
In his youth, Raman was mainly interested in acoustics, that means the science of sound. So we have today there is a study also. We can also do some research and everything in this part of, or you can say in this sect of science. But at that time he was also interested in that, and he was doing research or studies about it. He studied how stringed instruments like the violin and the sitar could produce harmonious music. So he was making study about this, how these different musical instruments or stringed instruments can make a harmonious music. That was his study. That is what he was trying to learn that time. Okay.
He was selected to the Royal Society of London in 1924, and the British government made him a Knight of the British Empire in 1929. It was a high honor for any great scientist.
He was elected to the Royal Society of London in 1924, and the British government made him a Knight of the British Empire in 1929. It was high honor for any great scientist. See, the world began to recognize his contributions, and the British government, the Royal Society of London in the year 1924 made him a Knight of the British Empire He was elected first, no, he was elected first to the Royal Society of London, that is in 1924, and again he was made a knight, KNIGHT. What do you mean by knight? A man of high social rank, a person with the title. See, after the kings and so on, there was a group of experts and group of persons with a lot of money and power. And this person has given, this Raman was given that high order. So maybe it was not easy to get such an honor. The government, in the British government at that time ruling India, gave him this honor of knight, KNIGHT. Now in the last, before many of the countries, no, in the history we have seen that there were knights like this, persons of high honor and a special privilege given to some people, no.
His advice to young scientists was to look all the world around them and not to confine themselves to their laboratories. The essence of science, he said, is independent thinking and hard work, not equipment.
Then his advice to young scientists was to look at the world around them and not to confine themselves to their laboratories. The essence of science, he said, is independent thinking and hard work, not equipment. He said, we don't say, no, I will be doing research and doing some of the things, no, some scientists, some students or researchers, and they are looking for high standard of things and so on. But that's good. But more than that, what is more important? He said, not equipment, but independent thinking and hard work. So you must, if you are going to achieve something, you must work hard. Now your students, you are at home, don't waste your time. Do your duty. Work hard so that you may get better marks. So now you don't have your teachers as you had last year. You know how you are enjoying the time. Now with friends, teachers are there to correct you and asking you and always being with you, as good students, and we were enjoying all in the school. But this year you don't have classes. So, but you have to hard work. You have to work hard to study things and write the homework, and also assist other video programs or YouTube for understanding these chapters and also other parts of your lessons, English, Telugu or Hindi or science or maths. You just watch our videos and also other videos also, so that you may also get more knowledge about the subject you are studying. So hard work and attitude which is independent thinking, that is what going to make a scientist. That's the advice, or the advice which C.V. Raman gave to the young scientist. Then let us read the last paragraph.
C.V. Raman was the first Indian scholar who studied wholly in India and received the Nobel Prize. He was the first Asian and the first non-white to win such a great award in science. He passed away in 1970 on November 21, but his memories are with us. February 28, the day on which he discovered the Raman effect, is celebrated as National Science Day to commemorate his remarkable achievement in science. This part is adapted from Scientist of India, published by Children's Book Trust, New Delhi.
So C.V. Raman was the first Indian scholar who studied wholly means totally, in India and received the Nobel Prize. Other scientists, they had gone outside for studying now, are doing research, but this man studied only in India. So it is not that we go abroad so that you may get a better knowledge. No. But the effort you put into, how you are trying, that is what going to make the difference. Not that the equipment or facilities you are going to have, but how you are going to take, how you are going to make the advantages, disadvantages into advantages. Now, the negative side we can make into a positive side, positive thing. No, we can make. He was the first Asian and the first non-white to win such a great award in science. He passed away in 1970 on November 21, but his memories are with us. February 28, the day on which he discovered the Raman effect, is celebrated as National Science Day to commemorate his remarkable achievements in science. So it is very interesting. Yeah. What is very interesting? The day which he invented Raman effect is considered as the National Science Day. National Science Day for us is on 28th of February. And he died in which year? In 1970 on November 21. And he is the first man to get a Nobel Prize, for physics, Nobel Prize. Then another one, the first Asian. Nobody from Asia, but the first Asian. And also the first non-white. That means all others were white people. For Europe, like Germany or Italy or other countries like England or America, they were getting, but not Indians or not black people. But he's the first person. Now when we say black, Indians are not that black, but also they consider other foreigners, consider Indians also black. So good, and you have heard this chapter, and I think that you have written the vocabulary and glossary and all the meanings you have written. And if you have any doubt about any of these parts, please send me a video message, or you can say audio message, or just write if you have some doubts about this chapter. So thank you very much, and hope that you will be doing the homework. And I will be sending you today afternoon the question and answers from this page, and please write down all those question and answers in your notebook, fair note. I want to just read this first question for you. Why was Raman happy when he learned that Professor Compton had won the Nobel Prize? That's the first question. Then what does the Compton effect tell us? So all these things are there. Just read and also study those question and answers, and be good students, though you are not coming to the school. Okay, thank you very much. We will meet next day with another class. Thank you.